Hi there and welcome back. So a little backstory about this guillotine. So I saved this guillotine a couple of months ago from near certain death. This thing was designated to go to the scrapyard, but I managed to salvage it, get it home, get it working. So the main reason it was going to the scrapyard was it had sheared a bolt on this lever here, and it also opened up the hole where this spring goes through, meaning that the spring just kept popping out and nearly taking people's eyes out. So I managed to fix the bolt and weld this hole back up and re-drill it and get that spring in there safely without killing anyone. But safe to say, this thing has definitely had its use in life. These blades are so blunt now, I don't even think they could cut paper. And this thing's designed to cut metal, so that is not good. So today what I want to do is I've managed to acquire some new blades for this, and I want to basically just give it all a strip down clean and make sure all the bolts are greased up, because at the minute it's also really stiff, doesn't want to spring back that well. So that is the main goal for today. Baileigh Industrial. Let's see how good you really are. And just quickly, let's talk a little bit about Brexit. Brexit, what a pain in the arse. So Baileigh Industrial now operate out of France, and being in the UK ever since Brexit has made getting parts really awkward now. So this is the lower blade, I've got the upper blade over there, and basically it's taken a good month to source these parts just because of Brexit really. Things can't be shipped as freely as they used to be, so it's a real pain in the arse trying to get bits for this. So hopefully this is the first and last time I'll ever have to do this. So let's get this thing stripped down and see exactly what we're dealing with. So let's start by getting this lower blade off, shall we? So since refurbing this, or I say refurbing it, since repairing it, sorry, I haven't really had much luck using it. It was just so blunt, it wouldn't even cut through the thinnest bits of metal, so for what I wanted it for, that wasn't really any good. Right, that's that off. Pull this out. That's just a little stop just to make your bits of metal not come up. Right, what shall we do next? I think we'll take this handle off. Good old adjustable. I can hear people in the comments now. Oh, bloody adjustable spanners. So I believe Baileigh are actually a really good quality of tool. Just this one has seen a lot better days. Alright, so next let's take all this apart. Big old spring. So I've got all the parts stripped down and cleaned now. They're cleaned up not too bad. Some of the bolts have got a little bit of pitting in, but nothing I can really do about that unless I want to go make a whole new set of bolts. So at the minute that's not something I'm going to do. So I need to swap out these old cutting blades. So these old cutting blades are going to be made from like really high quality steel, probably like tool steel or something like that. So it's not something I'm going to throw away, because these I could probably shape into some lathe tools. You know, if they can cut up to 6mm plate metal, I'm sure they'll be good on the lathe. So I'm going to keep hold of both of these. Might even try resharpening the top blade, because the bottom blade you can flip over and it's got 4 cutting edges, where this you can only use it once. So I might try resharpening that. So let's get rid of them. Oh my god, this thing's heavy. So this Baileigh guillotine, I've noticed, it seems to be like a solid piece of metal. The feet look like they're welded on, but the rest of it seems to be formed really well. So to me that says this is a high quality guillotine. Obviously it wasn't a minute ago because it wouldn't cut anything, but hopefully by the time we're done that shouldn't be a problem. So this is the brand new lower cutting blade, and that is the brand new upper cutting blade. Right, so they're all cleaned and degreased. All the hinges and bolts and everything, they've been cleaned. So next thing to do is start getting this thing back together. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease up all the shanks on these bolts, and when I slide them in, hopefully a lot of that grease gets retained. So to start reassembly, I'm just going to use some of this multi-purpose bearing grease just to coat the bolts in, just to hopefully make the operation a little bit smoother. So absolutely slapping it on there. So I'll start by putting this blade back in. So I'm just going to, for now, just put one of the nuts on the back, just to hold it in place loosely. Lovely. So next we need to put this plate back on. So that attaches up there. And the bolt, which I had to repair, goes through there. So just going to again grease all that up. So that goes through there. And again, I'm just going to put the nuts and bolts on the back loosely. So this pin that I had to repair goes through there. And then this other hinge goes on the other side. And I'm just going to loosely put on the nut and bolt again. And then while we're here, we'll attach the upper blade now. Again, just greasing all the bolts as we go. Lovely bit of grease that. So just roughly, we have our guillotine action back. Right, now comes the bit that may possibly kill me. Got to get this spring located in there and then back in this hole. So I think to do that, I'm going to locate the spring first, put that in there, take this bolt back out. Might be a bit of fiddling in this bit just to see which works best for you. Right, I think that's in. I think we're in. Yeah, we're in. Now hopefully this will slot back in here. Bolt in there. Oh, we're in business. So that's back on. So I'm just going to get all these bolts done up now, and then this top blade, in theory, is where it should be. So I've got all the bolts tightened up on here now, and that seems to spring back quite nice. It definitely didn't used to do that before, so really happy with that. So I just need to put the bottom blade in now. So the bottom blade needs to slide in, because the tolerances between the two blades are so little that that is the only way you can get that in. So here goes nothing. watching the holes until they all line up. Back there is lovely. So I'm just going to get all these bolts in and we'll see how it feels and sounds. And the last bolt. So that's all the bolts in. Right, that's all tight. Oh, that sounds like this. That sounds good. Sounds good. Right, I'm going to get the handle back on, mount this back on my bench, and we'll see what this thing can cut. So, there you have it. It cuts paper again. Thanks for watching, guys. No, I'm only messing with you. Let's see if this thing can cut something other than paper. So, I've got some 1.5mm mild steel plate. Let's see if it can cut that. Bloody lovely, that. So this will be a bit more of a struggle for it, I reckon. It's a 1-inch flat bar, 3mm thick. Let's give it a go. Oh. It started to go. Give it another go. Maybe I was being weak. Jesus, that's some thick bit of metal to try cutting on there. Blades seem pretty good though. Let's try out the bar cutting section. See how that goes. Let's try cutting this M6 bolt down. Jesus! Well, I wouldn't say it cut that, more snapped it. That was bloody crazy. Jesus Christ. So there we have my Baileigh MPS-12. So it just generally now feels a lot better now it's had an overhaul. Obviously it can actually cut things now, it's got some new set of blades on there. It says on their website this thing can cut 6mm sheet metal. I'll be very surprised if you could cut that. I just struggled like hell with 3mm flat bar and it only really bent it. So this thing is probably really good if you're just trying to cut bits of sheet metal, maybe up to 2mm. It'll probably dawdle through that. I only had 1.5mm on hand and it seemed to cut that no problem. But I'm really glad this thing's up and running now. Means I can start cutting through some paperwork and maybe cutting a bit of metal if I feel like it. Only joking. This thing will come in its own when it comes to making panel work and that, so super glad. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.